most of the people, they assume that great work will be noticed by people, and hence you will be recognized for. Unfortunately, the reality is different. Not necessarily. Great work will be noticed, okay? And at a certain time, you get frustrated because you're a hard worker. You do a lot of things that people, they don't know. Even you spend hours, you work weekends, and by the end, nobody noticing this, not recognizing it, and it's a big frustration. When we are in struggle, we need to raise our hand and ask for help. I didn't do it. I thought that I was able to manage it. But of course, I didn't have experience on this. I thought that's the right way to do it. People, they need to notice what I'm doing, the great work, the hard work that I'm doing. But unfortunately, of course, this is reality. They will not notice it. So I think when people, they're struggling, they need to ask for help, okay? And they should not be afraid to say, we're struggling. We don't know how to do it. We don't have visibility. We are not able to put a plan. When I talk about new people joining supply chain, I'm asking them before to join the company, ask about the manager. It will make your career a fantastic career, or it can be the worst career, unfortunately. It's not intentionally, manager as well, if they are not equipped with the right tools to develop people, they will not do it. So sometimes it's not intentional. But if your chance that you are with a manager who is not able to do it, unfortunately, it impacts your career.
Adil, if I may ask you about the biggest struggles that you have had in your career. I know that you have a great career, definitely. But I believe behind the development that you have had with people, you some struggles in your career. What were those biggest struggles that you have had in your career?
Yeah. So, as you said, Khaled, in supply chain, of course, you will go through a lot of struggles. And I think very important to go through these struggles that will help you to be stronger, of course, and to take the learning and move on. And it's good, my point of view, to have a lot of struggles at the beginning of your career. I think that will have more positive impact for your career. As I mentioned, I started 20 years ago in the supply chain, and when I started, I came from university. Really, I didn't have studies in supply chain. Okay, and I discovered supply chain on the ground, and it was very tough for me at the beginning to learn a lot of functional technical skills. And of course, I was working, I couldn't have time to learn, and I need to do things. So I need to learn and do things at the same time. And I was not very clear on what I need to do and how I will make it. So it was a big struggle. And seriously, during the first 5-6 weeks, I was thinking every week to quit. So every week I was saying, maybe next week I will not come back, because it's too much. It was overwhelming. People, they're asking you to do a lot of things related to imports, documentation, product in the port, clearance delayed, the warehouse, stocks in the system, all this operational stuff. And I didn't have this learning. And one of the things that I got from my social, I would say, or family background is, and it was very important, is about how you rely on yourself. You know that you need to make it. That's one. The second thing, it was about discipline, how you need to be disciplined. And this is things that I'm using till now. And this, for me, things that are helping me to achieve what I want, what I did, or to do what I'm planning to do. So being stuck in this situation, I did have two choices. I quit, or I find a way. Okay, so the way I found is that, especially in this part, I remember the part of the import. I was talking to the guy who was bringing the containers to the warehouse, who was the clearance agent. I was saying, how do you know all these documents, the certificate, this, I was working in food business, so all this health certificate, etc. It was very complex. And he told me, I went to school for customs clearance agent. I said, is this? Yes, but I'm working. So I went to check, and I found that they're giving evening courses. And I was living in Rabat and I was working in Casablanca. So I was commuting by train. So it was not easy for me to do it.
How long was the trip between
It
both?
was more than 1 hour at that time, every day. And so the morning and the end of the day. And I took the decision to go and have this evening course. So I was going back home late every day. I did it for 1 year. But this changed my career in supply chain. It gave me confidence. It gave me the passion to make it happen. And I think that changed a lot of things in my career in supply chain, because as I say, the first 6 weeks I was thinking about getting out of all this pressure because I couldn't make it. I didn't learn this before, and nobody in the company was helping me. I was the first recruit in the company. The company opened their office the first time at the time in Casablanca. So I didn't have someone to guide me to transfer the knowledge, but I decided to make it myself. And that was one of the biggest struggle in my career that gave me a lot of learning and energy and the fuel to manage what's happening before. So my advice here, if I allow me to say, is that you need to get discipline in supply chain. It's very important to get this. The way how you do things, it's discipline, and without it, you can quit because it's not easy. Okay, you need to combine your passion, of course, to do things, to succeed, to achieve things, but as well, you need to be very disciplined. The second struggle I can share with you that I got it later in my career is that most of the people, they assume that great work will be noticed by people, and hence you will be recognized for. Unfortunately, the reality is different. Not necessarily. Great work will be noticed. Okay, and at certain time you get frustrated because you're a hard worker. You do a lot of things that people, they don't know. Even you spend hours, you work weekends, and by the end nobody noticing this, not recognizing it, and it's a big frustration. And at that time you start accusing the others. This company is not recognizing people. This line manager, he's not interested, and this is not the right company, etc. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of people they get into, and it's not the fault of the company. It was my fault. My fault is that I couldn't communicate about what I'm doing. Okay, I didn't have a clear story about what I'm doing, why I'm doing it, and I was not taking the opportunity to communicate with the stakeholders, with my manager, etc. And that's a very important piece that I would like to share with you, with the audience, is how we should be keen about communicating about what we're doing, because this is a part of how you build your, let's say, the perception in the company, and they get to know more about the value you're bringing to the company. So we can talk about it later, but for me, that's the two biggest struggle that I recall at the beginning of my career, at the middle of the career. But I think most of the time when you think about it, it has 80%, 90% related to us, not to the environment around us.
Adil, it's really inspiring. I reflect back also, it's the same experience, and I believe also most of audience, they can reflect on that. If you come back, let's say that you have like a sand time, like Prince of Persia, and you come back by the time, and from that struggles, what could be the learnings that you can have and overcome these struggles? What will be your choice on that time?
Look, the first thing for me is how I can make sure that there is a balance between the functional technical skills and the behavioral or interpersonal development part. For the second struggle I shared with you, of course, all my focus was on the functional part. I couldn't even work on my communication skills, how I can manage my stakeholders, and how I can share my story, my story was not very clear because I was not clear about my story today. Why I'm in this business? I'm here just to deliver, to import product and deliver, or it's functional performance. So I think the people in supply chain need to keep this balance and to be intentional about keeping an eye on this balance, how I am progressing functionally and behaviorally. And as I mentioned before, more I grow in the organization, it's not expected for me to increase my technical knowledge, but more my behavioral skills. The second thing that I can share as learning for me is when we are in struggle, we need to raise our hand and ask for help. I didn't do it. I thought that I was able to manage it. But of course, I didn't have experience on this. I thought that's the right way to do it. People, they need to notice what I'm doing, the great work, the hard work that I'm doing. But unfortunately, of course, this is reality. They will not notice it. So I think when people, they're struggling, they need to ask for help, okay? And they should not be afraid to say, we're struggling. We don't know how to do it. We don't have visibility. We are not able to put a plan.
Sometimes people are afraid because I'll tell you also from my point, sometimes I feel when I ask for help, I feel that it's weakness. I feel that it's sometimes even the manager, managers, maybe they're different from each other. But some managers, when you ask for help, they'll start questioning you. What do you want? You are here to do this job. Don't ask me for that questions. It's your job. Sometimes fear inside us stop us even asking for help because some people think that when you ask for help, it means it's weakness.
I agree with you. As I mentioned before, my development is my own responsibility. Okay, so if someone is challenging my development, I need to face it. I need to manage it. Okay, if I cannot do it all, I will not drop it all. Okay, so if I cannot get all the full, let's say, support from my manager, okay, I need to try, of course, but it doesn't mean that I will drop my development. Okay, that's
it's two ways. It's not one way.
That's one. Okay. When you talk about line managers, so people, when they join the company, and when they leave, most of the time they leave because of a manager. Okay, so in general, when I talk about new people joining supply chain, I'm asking them before to join the company, ask about the manager. It will make your career a fantastic career, or it can be the worst career, unfortunately. It's not intentionally, manager as well, if they are not equipped with the right tools to develop people, they will not do it. So sometimes it's not intentional. But if your chance that you are with a manager who is not able to do it, unfortunately, it impacts your career. But back to the learning, as I said, of course, you raise your hand, and when you raise your hand, not necessarily or only with your line manager, you have a lot of resources in the company. I don't remember that I went to a senior manager in a company asking for help, especially when it comes to development, and he told me no. Your manager might do it because he has a pressure of performance and he wants you to be focused, especially in short term, to deliver something. If you go to a senior leader in the company and say, I need your help, I need your view about how I can make it better, absolutely they will do it. Because the role of leaders in the company is to help people to deliver performance. This is leadership. It's not about only performance KPIs. No, it's how I can get the full potential from people to serve one common objective of the company. And it cannot happen if these people, they are not feeling safe, developed, and enjoying their career. So it's very important that people raise their hand. And I agree with you, sometimes the environment is not helping, but it doesn't mean that I stop. No, I find other way to do it. The other learning that I can take is how we can not stay only focusing on the company we are working for, because the world is bigger, okay? And not necessarily you will stay in this company the rest of your life. So you are there as long as you find the ingredient or the condition or the expectations you are looking for. People, they come to a company for different reasons, okay? Either for salary, for environment, for development opportunity. As long as you have this ingredient, you are there and you are enjoying your career, because the objective by the end is to have a fulfilling and rewarding career. The time when you feel it doesn't work, you will not stay in this company, which is fair, which is mutual. The same thing for the company. Okay, so you need, my point of view is that as long you're in a company, you're focused, of course, to deliver and to develop, but in the same time, try to develop your network outside of the company. There's no harm to do it, because this will have a lot of benefit for you and for the company. This is a way to do a lot of benchmarking. This is a way to get a lot of learning from mistakes that people did before. This is a very, I say, from self-confidence perspective, when you see how things are happening there, how you do it in your company, you know that you're doing great things. Sometimes if you are in the same, you don't know what is good, what is great, what is low, etc. So I think these are the learning that I can share with the audiences in terms of how they can manage their career, and out of the struggle, they need to prepare them for the future, because what brought you here will not take you there. So what you learn to make you where you are today is not necessarily what will put you where with your aspiration.